not only the higher profile of the stadium, but the fact that there's a canopy. Because you remember in the old place, with it being below ground, the wind would come right off the lake and swoop down into the field and have come at you, going diagonally from the home bench to the visiting bench, going down toward the scoreboard. And that was a bear to throw into that. And I know Maddie
you're
was
telling
on that tour,
me.
and I was. Yeah, we were on a tour. We were on a tour last fall, and it happened to be a windy day, and we were on an employee tour in the stadium, and they had a flag on the top of the canopy on the top of the stadium, and it's whipping straight. And we were down on the field. There was no wind to speak of at all. So the science of it seemed to hold true on that visit. We'll see if that continues when we get to the season.
Yeah, that's going to be huge. Can you give me an update on the old stadium? Where are they at? Are they starting to tear that thing up?
Yeah, the excavators are already over there. It's kind of a weird dichotomy that we're witnessing here. We're sitting doing this show in the Bills store, and over our shoulder, they're literally tearing down the edge of the Wall of Fame closest to us. And over here, we got cranes putting stuff up for some of the finishing touches. It's just a weird juxtaposition that we got going on here.
Wow.
I want to ask you, while we have you on, Fitz, you talked about looking forward to seeing Josh Allen throw in that new stadium. Well, Josh has got a new piece to throw to in DJ Moore. What did you make of that addition to Buffalo's offense? And new head coach Joe Brady. I don't know if we've even touched on that with you since the last time you've been on.
Yeah, I love the addition of DJ Moore. He's always been a really special player, explosive. And it just didn't seem, for whatever reason, his chemistry with Caleb didn't seem to be working with Chicago. And they had some great games together. But this and everything I've heard about DJ Moore, because he's been a guy I've been so curious about the last few years.
Fitz might have froze
there's
there
been some stuff where maybe
We'll
he's not.
there it is.
Am I not on?
No,
Nope.
you're on. You're good now. We got you back.
Yep.
Good. DJ Moore's been really interesting for me the last few years, just asking guys around that organization, what kind of guy is this? Because sometimes it seemed like there were some effort issues and some other things that were kind of, the relationship with the quarterback, and everything I heard back about him is he's an amazing dude. He never misses practice. He's a great teammate to have. And so I think it's a huge addition and a nice one for the Bills. I know Josh is going to love him. They'll develop some great chemistry right away. And Joe Brady, and just having the familiarity there. It's amazing how far that goes in the NFL, and really understanding players and how to use them and having that previous relationship with them. So the Joe Brady era is underway. It's going to be an interesting one. I was with every Bills fan as they were going through that process, kind of scratching my head, thinking, once they fired Sean, they were going to go outside the building. But I'm coming around on Joe Brady and really excited to see this new version of the Bills. I think they're going to play looser. I think they're going to play faster. Looking forward to seeing the product week 2.
Yeah, let me take that one step further with the last one I've got for you, Fitz, because we saw under Sean McDermott there was a concerted effort to be balanced on offense. I mean, the last 2 years, this team was pretty much a 50-50 run-pass team, which kind of ran counter to the way the league was going the better part of the last 6 to 8 years. Passing a lot on first down and all of that stuff, that went out the window with the emergence of James Cook. How much this is the big curiosity. We're wondering if the restrictor plates are now off on Joe Brady's play calling. How much would you anticipate a spike in passing? Do you think it could get back closer to 60-40 pass run? What do you think the uptick might be?
Well, I think, that 50-50, when you're winning a lot of games, it's easy to keep that 50-50 balance. But the thing is, they've been really effective at running the ball as well. So, you got to remember Joe Brady was the one that was calling those plays. I think it's going to be very similar. I think in watching the Bills over the last few years, the hope, can we develop more of the downfield passing game, whether that's off the play action or in the drop back. My son, the huge Bills fan, he gets a little perturbed, I guess, sometimes at all the wide receiver screens to the outside. So coming up with different solutions and things. And, as an offense, you have to continue to evolve every year. So that close relationship between Josh and Joe is going to be good, but they've got to continue to push Josh in a direction that demands a lot out of him, especially before the snap. So I'd like to see a little more of that downfield passing game grow. They should grow in that area this year.
Any team in the NFL. Can he make this team, Graz? What are you hearing about where things stand between Odell and the Giants?
Yeah, he can. A couple of weeks ago, this sounded like it was on the verge of happening, and obviously it hasn't yet. And you hear John Harbaugh talk about where things stand. He references training camp. I don't think a player in Odell's situation is in a hurry to hustle in and get there for mandatory minicamp in June. So I think this is something that probably comes together, if at all, in June or July. I think, a lot of it will depend on Malik Nabers and his recovery from injury. Is that a spot where the Giants have a need? Odell Beckham didn't play last year. The last time we saw him, he was not the kind of player that was a difference maker. Good player, and he can do what they need him to do. But what would the role be? What would the need be? These are the kinds of questions I think get fleshed out here over the next month or so.
And Hawk, Graz is talking about the need, because we know that Malik Nabers likely not ready for the start of the season given when he got injured last year. So as you pair this together, what do you think about a potential reunion of OBJ in New York?
I love the story. I think OBJ could absolutely make a team. He's a veteran presence. He understands. He's worked really, really hard since the last time we've seen him in an NFL uniform. And I think, to Graz's point, the training camp, the offseason stuff is kind of a moot point of someone of his caliber. To that end, I don't know about the kind of impact he would make on the Giants. I think there are other teams where Odell makes a better impact as far as a player, but what the Giants need, regardless of where Malik Nabers is if you're going to bring a veteran in, he needs to actually move this offense forward, especially with so many young pieces. I think of Stephon Diggs, again, free agent. You see what he's done for Drake May a year ago, being like a stability weapon for that offense, for the New England Patriots. If they're able to get into that, what I would call a sweepstakes for an older receiver who is obviously very much still productive, came off an ACL a year ago and still had the season he had, someone like that makes an impact for the Giants. A veteran receiver plugs right in as a number 2 behind Malik Nabers, who is going to need somebody to take the pressure off of him, because everyone understands, as it pertains to the pass game, regardless of where he is with his injury, it will go through Nabers. So he's going to need that balance.
So we keep talking about Odell Beckham Jr.'s age. So he's 33 years old. He has not played a game since December 2024 with the Dolphins. He also spent the 2023 season in Baltimore with John Harbaugh. So maybe a reunion coming. And since we're on the topic of another former
Bills Mafia, this is the kind of clip that makes you stop, rewind, and say, wait a second, are the Buffalo Bills about to unlock a completely different version of this offense? Because when Ryan Fitzpatrick talks about Josh Allen, DJ Moore, and Joe Brady in the same breath, you have to listen. This is not just random off-season noise. This is a former quarterback, a guy who understands Buffalo, a guy who understands what it means to play in this city, looking at this offense and basically saying the Bills may have found something real. And the biggest name in that conversation is DJ Moore. Fitz said it clearly. He loves the addition of DJ Moore. He called him special. He called him explosive. And that word matters, explosive. Because for the last few years, Bills fans have been begging for this offense to feel more dangerous, more aggressive, more unpredictable. Josh Allen has carried so much of the burden with his arm, his legs, his toughness, and his impossible plays. But now the question becomes, what happens when you give Allen a receiver who can actually turn routine completions into game-changing moments? That is what DJ Moore can bring. Moore is not just another body in the receiver room. He is a real weapon. He can win after the catch. He can threaten defenses horizontally and vertically. He can line up in different spots. He can force defensive backs to tackle in space. And when you pair that with Josh Allen's arm strength, suddenly the field opens up in ways Buffalo has been searching for. And here is the part that should make Bills Mafia even more excited. Fitz did not just talk about talent, he talked about character. He said everything he has heard about DJ Moore is positive. Great teammate, never misses practice, amazing dude. That matters in Buffalo because this is not a soft locker room. This is not a team looking for empty hype. This is a team trying to win now, trying to maximize Josh Allen's prime, and trying to build a new identity under Joe Brady. And Fitz said something else that should stick with every Bills fan. Josh is going to love him. That is the line. Josh Allen is going to love DJ Moore because quarterbacks love receivers they can trust. They love receivers who show up every day. They love receivers who separate, compete, block, fight, and make themselves available when the play breaks down. With Josh Allen, the play is never dead. The pocket can collapse, the route can extend, the defense can think it won, and then Josh Allen creates something ridiculous. If DJ Moore builds chemistry with him quickly, this offense can become a nightmare. But Bills Mafia, here is where the conversation gets even bigger. Because if DJ Moore is the proven addition, what if Buffalo still wants one more veteran spark? That brings us to a name every NFL fan knows, Odell Beckham Jr. Now, let's be clear. There is no confirmed Bills deal for OBJ. There is no official announcement. He is a free agent, and recent reports have connected him more heavily to a possible Giants reunion, but nothing appears imminent. So, we are talking about a possibility, not a report that Buffalo is signing him. But as a football conversation, it is absolutely worth discussing. OBJ is 33 years old. He's not the same player who took the league by storm with the Giants. He's not the same weekly superstar highlight machine from his early prime. Injuries, age, and time have changed the equation. But this is still Odell Beckham Jr. This is still a receiver with elite hands in his DNA, playoff experience, swagger, route feel, and the kind of name that instantly brings attention to any offense. So the question is not, should the Bills sign OBJ to be the #1 receiver? No, that is not the question. The real question is, could OBJ help Josh Allen in a limited, smart veteran role if the money is right? That is where it gets interesting.
Imagine this receiver room with DJ Moore as the explosive top weapon, Khalil Shakir working the middle, Keon Coleman developing as a big-bodied target, Dalton Kincaid creating mismatches at tight end, James Cook stressing defenses out of the backfield, and then OBJ as a situational veteran piece. Third downs, red zone, big moments, playoff snaps. A guy who does not need 10 targets every week, but could still give you one route, one catch, one moment that changes a drive. That is the only way this makes sense. The Bills cannot chase nostalgia. Brandon Beane cannot sign a name just because fans remember the highlights. Buffalo has to be disciplined. Medical evaluation, workout, contract protection, low guarantee, incentives, clear role, no confusion, no drama. If OBJ wants a real chance to contribute to a contender and understands that DJ Moore, Josh Allen, and Joe Brady are the center of the offensive plan, then maybe that conversation becomes interesting. Because this new Joe Brady era is about speed, freedom, trust, and evolution. Fitz said he thinks the Bills are going to play looser. He thinks they're going to play faster, and that is exactly what this offense needs. Not predictable screens over and over, not asking Josh Allen to play superhero every single week, not waiting until the fourth quarter to unleash the vertical game. This offense needs answers before the snap, explosiveness after the catch, and receivers who can punish defenses for every mistake. DJ Moore gives Buffalo that immediately. OBJ would be the gamble. Moore is the foundation piece. OBJ would be the spark plug. Moore is the move you build into the game plan every week. OBJ would be the veteran wild card you use when the moment calls for experience, hands, and confidence. And that is why this conversation matters. Because the Bills are not rebuilding. They are not waiting. They are not hoping some distant future arrives. Josh Allen is in his prime right now. Every season matters. Every offensive weapon matters. Every small edge matters. And when a former quarterback like Fitz looks at DJ Moore and says he loves the addition, that Josh will love him, and that the chemistry can develop right away, Bills Mafia should pay attention. This is not just about one receiver. This is about a new version of Buffalo football. A version where Josh Allen does not have to carry every explosive play by himself. A version where Joe Brady can attack defenses with more creativity. A version where DJ Moore becomes the missing piece that forces opponents to respect the entire field. And maybe, if the price is right, if the role is right, and if the fit is clean, a veteran like Odell Beckham Jr. becomes the final luxury piece in a receiver room built for a deep run. Bills Mafia, this is our year. DJ Moore is already here. Josh Allen finally has a new explosive weapon. Joe Brady has the keys to the offense. And if Buffalo keeps looking for one more smart veteran addition, do not be shocked if names like OBJ keep entering the conversation. But I want to hear from you. Should the Bills stay focused on building chemistry with DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, and Dalton Kincaid, or should Brandon Beane take one more swing on a veteran like Odell Beckham Jr. if the contract protects Buffalo? Drop your take in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay locked in. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. We ride together, win or lose, let's talk about it.